welcome to the Spodcast. We're here this week with Anthony Jones on beautiful Stoneacres. Anthony, welcome.
Oh yeah?
Right, so you've had a fish.
Yeah, I won this morning, which was obviously nice, last knock-in Sunday morning.
Yeah, brilliant. Obviously the conditions are absolutely bang on, don't they? Bearing in mind we're in June, the start of June. Talk us through the capture a little bit.
Basically, I came Thursday night. Usual thing for me is I get set up, then go back to work on a Friday. Gets all the hassle, of getting all set up with my boat out of the way. Then Friday I'm straight into fishing. I've had 4 spots, left them out there since Friday. And then the one on a shallow gravel spot ripped off at 4:30 this morning, so happy days.
Nice. So obviously leaving baits out for that long, I know that's quite commonplace on here.
Yeah.
What do you do to sort of, ensure you're confident it's fishing in terms of hook bait choice and stuff like that? Do you have to go with harder baits? And
I mean, at the moment I'm fishing tiger nets anyway,
right.
Purely because of the birds and the tench.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, it's ideal for both reasons really. And obviously I've seen my bait sat on the bottom through the aquascope, so I know they're fishing. There's no point changing them, and the least I can go out in the boat and affect the swim, and the better really.
Yeah. So how are you? I mean, is this your first season on here? Because I know obviously you're on Christchurch originally.
Yeah, this is my second season.
Right.
Second season on here.
So how have you got on in terms of fish from this one?
I've done really well actually. Not in numbers, but I've had the 2 biggest ones that are in the lake at the moment.
Right.
After sadly the lake lost bite mark last year, which was the resident 50-pounder. That left No Name and Kev's Linear, and I had them both over 45 pound last year. So
wow.
It was a really, really good start for me. To be honest, I feel quite bad because there's a lot of guys on here, that are excellent anglers, and they're still chasing those 2 fish.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good start. Still a lot to learn, but yeah, really good.
So what's the stock in here now?
I'm led to believe around 60, right, depending on who you speak to.
Yeah.
But yeah, around 60 to go up. But some do a disappearing act, and then they turn up. So yeah. Not that many really.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously you said that bite mark obviously passed away.
Yeah.
Does that then sort of leave room for the ones that are slightly underneath it to creep up in weight? Does that tend to happen on here, or I suppose it's too early to say?
I think it is too early to say because they were all at their biggest weights last year. It looked really positive. So you had bite mark at 51.5 pound, No Name and Kev's both at knocking the 46 mark. And then bite mark's gone, and No Name and Kev's are now down to 42s.
Right.
So it's hard to tell really. I think you've got Baby Choco is the next one approaching mid 40s.
Right.
So that's one definitely to look out for.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. So in terms of sort of rig choice, leads, what would you go with on a lake like this? Because it's big. I suppose it's weedy in places. You get a lot of, I'd imagine, undertow, don't you, when it's blowing like this? Yeah,
you do. Yeah, I mean, especially when you're fishing, 180 yards sort of range, trying to get that line down on the bottom and back on your boat.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult, especially as I had no experience in boats until I came on here, so it's all pretty new to me.
Yeah.
It's a different thing altogether, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I came on here, I noticed people using 6-ounce leads sort of thing. I thought, oh, that's a big lead, and then I noticed that they had a hole in the middle of the lead, so the actual circumference of the lead was still really big, and I thought, well, half of that is wasted.
Yeah.
So I got a guy I know locally, and he made me some cog leads. But 10 ounce,
right.
And people's faces when they see them, because they are a big lead.
Yeah.
But to me, it keeps everything pinned down. When I'm in the boat, if I snag it, I'm not going to drag the rig off the spot.
Yeah.
And I've been really, really pleased with them. All the hook holds I've had have been really good. So yeah, 10 ounce cog leads I've been using. So
right. I assume that's on a drop off style
yes.
setup.
Yeah.
Didn't want that thing smashing around when you play the fish.
No, definitely not. Yeah, it's literally on a leg clip system.
Yeah.
And obviously that drops off straight away.
Yeah, brilliant. I bet you get some banging hook holes for them.
Well, I haven't had a problem yet, so yeah,
awesome.
fingers crossed. But I say it is also to do with it holding the spot, basically.
Yeah, you could say at that sort of distance, coming, because that's quite a blow on the wind on the lake rather at the minute, but it's not particularly windy, is it? It's just, I suppose, exaggerated from the fact. So I imagine if you get a decent wind, it must be sort of magnified.
Yeah, I mean, I went out in 50 mile an hour storm last year. It was on a Friday, and I literally got back from work, and I thought, I've got to do this because otherwise my whole weekend is wasted. And it was one of the longest spots on the lake in the bins, and I thought, I've got to do this. I noticed nobody else was out in their boats. You know, you got the experienced members, they're all tucked away in their bivvies, and I was like, oh, shall I, shan't I? And I thought, I've got to do this. And I did it, and it just kept nice and low, and I got all 4 rigs down on the deck on the big area, and literally go back to those leads again, they all held the spot, and that was in the 50 mile an hour wind. So it just proved to me that I feel I'm doing the right thing with those.
Yeah, brilliant. I suppose as well, with being able to go in the boat, you can check everything.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So do you sort of favour braided mainline over mono and stuff like this?
Yeah, same again. That was all new to me as well. You know, people had put me off braided mainlines. They said, oh, you know, you got to use really soft rods, and you need to go and practice before you go on there with it. And the first fish I caught out of here was the fighting machine.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't need to explain to anyone why it's called that. And I've got old £3 test curve rods, so they're probably well under that now, but I really haven't had a problem fishing braid on here. I think it's absolutely great. So braided mainline with fluorocarbon leader. It's all pinned down with lots of putty. Yeah,
similar to what I use. Brilliant. In terms of baiting strategies, have you sort of got spots going, or can you not be so busy? Or
I haven't actually. I did see a member on here last year. He got some areas going, and we sort of, nice part about a syndicate, you know, we sort of left him to it, and he did really well with baited areas, and it's something I need to concentrate on and try and do this year. The only trouble is, with it being so busy on here now with the added members, you know, it was like a 30-man syndicate, it's now a 60-man syndicate, to get back in the same swim that you're baiting it's not like it used to be. So I think it'd be quite frustrating if you're putting in a lot of bait, you know, which costs a lot of money to someone like myself, you know, who isn't, you know, I don't get my bait for free, you know, I have to pay for it. And as much as I'd like to get somewhere going, and I'm sure I will try, it's not as easy as you know, as it can be on other waters or has been on here in the past. Generally, I've tried little bits in the weed, little spots. I've also tried big baited areas. I've tried it all really, to sort of mix results, you know. I tried nuts, boilies, hemp, but, you know, and at the right time of year, I think every way can work. Yeah,
and you mentioned the tench earlier. Are they a bit of a problem on here?
Yeah, I mean, it's full of them. Yeah, it is absolutely full of them.
Big pit.
Yeah, it's as soon as I've had boilies in my mix at this time of year. That's just tench. You have tench after tench, you know. I fished tiger nut hook baits, still tench. As soon as I've took the boilies out of the mix, and just fished tigers, then that seems to keep them off. They seems to lose a little bit of interest then. So that's sort of the way I've found best to do it.
Yeah, because it's not as simple as just bringing it in and whacking the rod back out, is it?
No, exactly.
Tench at 3 in the morning.
No, exactly. It's not very nice, really. I mean, they're stunning fish, and you know, I'm obviously all disappointed when you bring one in. You know, it'd be the 2 tench anglers that are on here. I mean, they must have a cracking time, and you're catching double figure tench regularly. You know, it's great sport on the right gear.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, in terms of amounts, are you fishing sort of, now you found your spots, are you fishing sort of relatively smaller amounts of bait?
Yeah, at the moment, because I'm using tiger nuts only, I am just fishing mainly chopped with some whole tigers on a smaller spots. Rather than if I was fishing boilies, I prefer a spread of boilies personally.
Yeah. Get them sort of moving around and picking out.
Exactly that. Yeah,
nice. Obviously, I first heard about you from looking at your Instagram page on Christchurch. I spent a bit of time talking about that because you've had some impressive fish out there over the years, haven't you?
Yeah, that's where I first started on this complex. I missed out Willow, which I regret now. Obviously, I didn't know what lovely fish that had in there, but Yeah, it started when my friend had a tutorial with Adam Penning on St John's on Linear, and I went over, just a bit nosy really, and thought I'd say hello to Adam Penning. He's a really nice guy, and he advised me that if he lived in this area still, that he would fish Linch Hill. He said the fish are massive, they're getting bigger, they're absolutely stunning. So I thought, all right, I'll go over and have a look. I've obviously heard of Linch Hill. I've known of it and looked at the fish for years, but probably a little bit daunted by the complex, to be honest. Always had a very hard reputation, for years when it was all syndicate. But yeah, started on Christchurch and then haven't been able to leave it alone, really.
Everyone I've spoken to is the same, isn't it?
You just get hooked. It's got a feel about it. The whole complex has, but on there's so many stunning big fish to go at. It's endless, really. I mean, I've fished on there for 4 years, and I've still got a number of big fish that I still haven't caught myself. And it's very hard to pull yourself away from that.
Yeah, there's some absolute. We were saying off mic earlier, weren't we? There's some absolute stunners, even the smaller ones.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And was it used to the comment you made, like even just a random one out of there could be the fish of any other lake, couldn't it?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, a lot of people say to me, different areas of the country, the lakes I fish have got one like that in it. Why do you travel all the way to Oxford? Well, yeah, but on this complex, there's 300 that look like that. Well, spoilt, really.
Stunners, yeah. Obviously, it's a little bit quieter now, which is good. So I'd imagine they're getting ready to spawn, aren't they?
Yeah, they're due to spawn any time on Christchurch now.
Yeah, because the van said like 26 degrees just down the road yesterday. So, and it's the temperatures are holding a bit more at night, aren't they now as well?
Yeah, a lot warmer.
So I think they say any day now they're going to spawn. Hopefully, they'll all come through it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the captures you've had on there and sort of how you went about. Because you said you did quite a lot of work overnighters.
Yeah, when I first started, it was Friday and Saturday night, and I had quite a good start. I managed to have a couple of fish relatively early, which sort of gives you a bit of confidence, I think, rather than I've seen so many guys on there, even very good anglers, and they've done a lot of nights for no fish, and it sort of does get to people. But yeah, I started quite well, and that was just enough to keep me going. And then as I got the bug more and more on there, and I realised that I needed to be at the lake more to sort of get a feel for it. And like most day tickets, you need to be in the right areas. So I just started doing work nights really as well. I was lucky enough that David and Julie were very understanding, and they let me leave my gear actually on site, so I could actually leave my gear in the swim. Obviously, I'm paying for the time I'm there. My gear's there, even though I'm at work. But yeah, leaving at 5 a.m. when I've got fish feeding over me was pretty difficult on many occasions, and then off to work and then back again the next day. But I had lots of fish doing that, and it's you can go to work with a smile on your face. Your eyes are half closed, but you've got a smile on your face, which is a nice thing, really. Yeah,
and how did you sort of go about targeting them on there? Was it did you find yourself once you learned the lake getting into a rhythm or knowing what would work where and when?
I tried obviously bottom baits, tigers, pop-ups. Found different times of the year meant pop-ups work better, but all in all, keeping everything really simple, due to the fact of when you are tired and doing work nights, overcomplicating things doesn't help. I can get quite frustrated with things, and I just found nice and simple. Make sure your baits are presented, and as I grew to know the lake and know the areas, then that became obviously a lot easier for me, because I could drop in a swim and I knew it like the back of my hand. So that did help. But so I learned as I went. It does,
Yeah, knowing exactly, like you say, being able to clip up straight away, minimal fuss.
And you're not going in blind, I feel like I could go on any swim on that lake now and be confident of having a fish, and I think that's half of it, really. Yeah,
definitely. Just being on them at the right time.
I mean, as you know yourself, over there, if you are on them at the right time, like you say, you really can have big hits and catch some big fish.
What? How many did you have from there? Did you keep a tally?
I've had over 100 fish from Christchurch. That's why it's amazing, really, that I've still got you know, a list of 40-pounders, let alone others that I still haven't caught.
Yeah.
I was quite unlucky actually in the size of the fish I caught. I caught like 6 £39 fish one year, and then came back the following year. Yeah. And the first fish I had was £39 again.
Oh, great.
So actual size-wise...
Checking your scales.
Well, do you know, I bought a new set of Rubenians.
Oh, right.
There was nothing wrong with them, but I would start to think they were bad luck. Yeah. So I literally bought a new set. But yeah, to be honest, when they look like they do on there... and then I came on here and had the 2 big fish, as we just previously said, at really big weights. I thought, that's payback, you know, that's the way it goes. But on there, I mean, really, if you're chasing a 40-pounder, then you know, I can understand you'd be disappointed. But for me, it was just, I just want to catch every fish out of that lake, and I didn't really mind how big they were. Yeah. It was just another one off the list, so to speak.
Like you say, there's so many stunning ones to go at.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable lake.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you would vary your tactics throughout the seasons or the time of year. Would it sort of typically be like pop-ups, spring, that type of format?
Yeah, that's exactly it really.
Yeah.
Small pop-ups. Nowadays it's Ronnie rigs. I don't fish a Ronnie rig, I stiff hinge, but Ronnie rig seems to be in fashion, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I guess a lot of the lads have swapped over to those.
Yeah.
Small pop-ups, and I'd always fish a scatter in a boilies. But if you're confident enough to fish over no bait, singles do the business on there.
I've noticed that.
They really do. Yeah, I've seen other good anglers, tear it up on there doing it like that. I have to put a bit of bait in. I won't lie, just even if it's just a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But it definitely works. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
Then as the year goes on, then down to the wafters.
Yeah.
And a bit more bait.
Yeah, and is it sort of quite bits? Would you fish on there in the warmer months? Particle.
Same again. I've seen them. I've tried it all. I've tried corn. I've tried tigers and hemp and everything you can think of, really.
Yeah.
But I've found that just sticking to boilies, to me, I get the best results.
Right.
Just start of the year, like sort of 10mm boilies.
Yeah.
And then move up to 15s.
Yeah.
And maybe a mix of the both. Slightly scattered. Just with a spom, not a throwing stick. On other venues, I've always used a throwing stick, but there's a lot of birds on there, and it's quite hard to get any down. Yeah. But just a spom, but I just vary my spom sort of where I'm hitting the clip and get a bit of a scatter and a boilies around. I found that's as good as any on there.
So when you're sort of doing that scattering approach, would you sort of put fewer in the spom, just so you put in so it's almost mimicking the throwing stick? Or?
Yeah, I don't really concentrate on how much I stick in the spom, to be totally honest. So and I'm quite happy if a couple land slightly short or to the right and to the left, and just to get a bit of a spread.
Yeah, nice. And would you sort of typically go for fish meals on there again, or is it just?
Well, it's funny you should say that as well, because it's the same that when I first came on the complex, you had to use the krill on there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you didn't get a bite. Obviously, a very good bait is. Slayed a lot of places, but I soon found that they like a white bait. Yeah. And I just went back to my old faithful cell that I'd used for years and on every other venue, and I've caught the majority of my fish on there on mainline cell. Yeah.
I've started washing stuff out on there to the point where it's almost mush.
Yeah,
just trying
nice.
that. Yeah. Again, same as you, little white pop-ups.
Yeah.
Just seem to like them, don't they?
They do. Yeah, definitely.
So on there. Do you think you'll go back? 'Cause obviously, you say it sort of gets under your skin with you fishing this. Do you think you'll do many more sessions on there?
Yeah, I will, because I, as I say, it's hard to leave it alone when there's numerous big fish on there. Yeah. There's actually bigger fish in there that I haven't caught. Yeah. Than there is in here. Yeah. So. Even though we're saying
it's not a big place, is it? In comparison?
Tiny, isn't it? Really. But even though we're saying it's not all about the size, it is about the beauty of the fish on this complex. Yeah. But I think, let's be honest. A 45-pound fish is a 45-pound fish, and with a few in there that I haven't caught, I'll definitely be giving it a go. And I've got friends that are on there as well, so it's nice to pop on and do a social. And I've actually got a job coming up in Oxford, starting in a month's time, so with night bites being quite regular over there.
Yeah.
I'm back to the work night thing again.
Right.
Rather than on here, night bites are few and far between.
Right.
You get, it seems to me that 90% of the bites on here are in daylight.
Yeah. Okay.
So you get a lot more value in doing a night on Christchurch than you do on Stoneacres.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Working it around life.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's just beneficial. I think I'd be tempted to say I'm about 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
It's quite a slog, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, it's a physical job you do as well, isn't it? I imagine.
It is. Yeah. I mean, people have said to me, if I could do what you do, I'd do that, I'd do this, and I think, well, give it a go and see. And majority of people that I know that have given it a go, after doing just a couple of nights, that's it. They give up.
Yeah.
It's not easy, especially working like I do on a building site. It's a long day as it is, and then travelling, a good couple of hours. A lot of the times I'm dropping other guys off, in a works vehicle, and then getting in my own vehicle and then coming back to the lake, and I'm not getting back to the lake until 7-8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving at 5 the next morning. So my actual hours, with rigs in the water, it's not a very long amount of time at all, and obviously I'm paying full price for that as well.
Yeah.
So at £30 a night for just fishing a few hours, it can be quite expensive as well.
Yeah, and tiring. I mean,
yes, of course.
Again, we were speaking off mic. I said the same. I did it a bit locally, and even 15 minutes away, it soon gets you. If you get played by tench or bream or something. Yeah. Obviously, if you have a carpenter, then you've got broken sleep as well.
Oh, it is tiring, and the last thing you want to be doing is going to work in a tired state, really. Especially for me, it's dangerous working in machines that are very high and on the edge of roofs and things. So it's you have to be very careful when you're doing it. Really, sometimes I have to rein it in myself. I think I'm a bit tired at the moment. I'm gonna have to, I need to go home. I can't keep doing this. It's too much.
I bet as well. It makes you a much more efficient angler when you're doing those short sessions overnight. You have to have everything spot on to maximise the time that you're on the bank. Yeah,
without a doubt. I think preparation is key. And on Christchurch again, it goes back to the fact that if you know the spots, it does really help. You're not going in blind. You're straight on those spots and almost straight to sleep. So you get like other anglers doing their tutorials and way you should do things, and a lot of people laugh because I'll have my bivvy door zipped up by 9 o'clock at night, and I won't be watching the water on Christchurch because you up watching the water? Well, no, I've got to work at the end of the day, and as much as I'd love to be up watching the water, I don't earn money from fishing. I earn money from going to work. So
it's that happy medium. But again, if it's busy, chances are you can't move on there anyway.
No, exactly.
So even if fish show to your left or right, it's going to be in someone else's water.
You're totally right, and that is another big thing. You can very rarely nowadays move on there. You need to really think ahead and get a couple of days in front and think, I've got to be where the fish are going to move to.
Yeah, when that wind changes.
Exactly, and sit it out.
Yeah, and just have everything on the spots ready for them to come over you.
Yeah.
So it's almost an advantage in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
You're done and you're set.
And resting the swim in the day when I go to work has definitely paid off.
Yeah.
There's a good few times I've come back from work tired, and I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Yeah. And Nick the bailiff or other guys I've known have said, and you've got fish all on you, and suddenly that perks you up and just gives you that extra push that you need to get to the end of the week and keep on going and get those rods back out, and it does prove that rest in the water can help.
Yeah,
they feel comfortable, going in with an area where there's no lines.
Yeah, I've heard a few people say that on there.
Yeah, the
importance of winding in the daytime.
Yeah.
So, what sort of tips or advice could you give to people looking to do their first night on Christchurch?
If I was going to come on this complex, my first port of call would be Willow.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gets left and almost disrespected, really. It's got some stunning fish in it, and it just gets you to get a feel with the complex. So firstly, I'd go on there, do a couple of nights or a few sessions, and just get a feel for the place.
Yeah.
If you feel like it's a place for you, then you step up to Christchurch, and I'd just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Make sure you feel for a drop, get a nice clean area. It doesn't have to be gravel.
Yeah.
It could be silt. It doesn't matter. Make sure you get that drop and you're confident that you're fishing basically 100% presented. Because if you're sat there and the fish do come into your area, which they do, and you will know they're there, and you've got that in your mind that, oh, actually I don't know if that's quite set right, and then they go on to the next peg and then he has 2-3 fish, which can happen, you're going to be kicking yourself why you didn't make sure your bait was presented. It used to be a very spotty lake from when it was a syndicate, but that's changed over the years, because people just fish all over the place now. So there's a lot bigger areas, and it's just about making sure your bait's presented and you're doing everything as well as you can. That's
such a valid point. Just don't be lazy.
No, exactly.
Because that niggle will niggle, and like you just said, when the fish are over you, it's spectacular, isn't it? It's like nothing I've ever seen before.
No.
In any lake I've been to. When you get a fresh southwester on there, a few months ago, and we had that. I had a couple out in that corner down the bottom. And it was just...
They're not shy, are they?
It was just unreal. It was like seeing dolphins, a pod of dolphins going around.
40-pounders just diving.
Lumping out. Or watching them from up a tree when they waddle towards you. You see them sort of turn head on. And they're sort of like a foot wide. So,
pretty spectacular to watch, aren't they?
Hell of a stock. That's a real good tip. So so just don't be lazy, and then again, keeping it simple is a real thing. Because when I first started on there early in the year, obviously it was winter, and the guy was trying to overcomplicate things, but they hadn't switched on.
No,
that's all there was to it, really. But so what sort of rigs would just be hinge stiffs? Did you say?
Hinge stiffs, and I use like a D rig just from the wafters. I swapped to a helicopter rig about a year ago or something like that, just because I think the presentation's slightly better. But I use the leg clip for most of my time on there. Same again, just make sure you get that drop, and absolutely fine. But they're the two things I'd go with. A lot of people guys that do well on there, they cut down their baits to quite small. Small baits, I would say, is definitely produces more fish.
Not smaller hook baits.
Yes, smaller hook baits produce more fish, I would say, on there. People fish big hook baits, and they have fish, don't get me wrong, but consistency wise, I would definitely say smaller hook baits.
Brilliant. Okay, what about obviously getting youth into the sport? Because I know, I reasonably close to Horseshoe Lake. They're doing a junior carp camp. What were your sort of views on that, getting youngsters in? Have you got any relatives you bring fish in, or any children or anything like that?
No, I haven't got any relatives or anything I bring myself. There's a young guy that fishes a bit on Christchurch, done a lot on linear, Jamie Stanbridge. He's I think he actually this weekend he's away fishing for England. He's a good lad and a very good angler, and it's nice to see people like him, coming through and doing well. Obviously it's great to see anybody getting into carp fishing, especially from a young age. I mean, I fished on the canals in Birmingham from when I was probably 6-7 years of age, with my granddad and my dad, and got catching, tiny little roach and gudgeon and things like that, and grew up. Gradually the fish got bigger and bigger. The fishing's changed now, hasn't it? People now want to start carp fishing, catching 20-30 pounders, so it is a little bit different, but fishing's a massive part of I suppose British culture, really, isn't it? And it's a big popular pastime, and anybody that can get into it and get the enjoyment out of it, I think it's a great hobby to be a part of, really. I feel that the wildlife and everything else is also a big part of it. And
completely agree.
And the one thing that I do feel is missing sometimes, even though a lot of the big companies are trying to push it a little bit more, it is caring for the wildlife and the trees and and everything else. Taking your rubbish away with you. That sort of thing. That was always something I was taught from a young age. If I dropped a bit of my Mars bar wrapper or something like that, my granddad would be on me. And saying, you take that with you. You know,
Yeah.
you don't leave that here. We put that
Yeah.
in your bag, and I'll be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
And that's what I still live by those values now. And it does frustrate me sometimes to see, especially on Christchurch,
Yeah.
to see some of the mess that's left.
Yeah, there's just no need for it. is
No
there?
barbecues, you know,
Yeah.
all sorts, and it is a bit of a walk up to the car park, but there's no excuse really.
No.
So that's a big part of it for me, looking
Yeah.
after the, everything that is around you.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I know I've said this many times before on the podcast, but it's that just being out in nature for several days on end, all the
Yeah.
things you see that you'd never see if you're
No.
back at home.
People don't realise, do they? I don't
No,
think. I think it's,
yeah.
some of my friends, they, if you ever see my Facebook, I get a lot of my old rugby mates. They'll be commenting when I put a fish up, and they'll obviously
Yeah.
take the mick a bit.
Yeah.
Going from rugby and out in the pubs and stuff like that to
Yeah.
just being sat with swans and geese. They think, what's happened to him? He's he's a changed man.
Yeah.
And I've always loved it, but obviously take it a lot more seriously now than I used to. But
Yeah.
things like the swans and the geese, and they're a pain.
Yeah.
When they go through your lines, and
Yeah.
but the way I look at it is, this is their home. This
Yeah.
isn't my home. This is
Yeah.
their home, and they should
Yeah.
be treated with respect rather than. Some people sadly don't see it like that.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that needs to be just brought to light, really. That
Yeah.
looking after what's at the fishing lake is very important.
Yeah, definitely. It's we need to stamp out that catch fish at all costs brigade, people, don't we?
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it's a shame, really. But yeah, I completely agree. The wildlife and the things you see, the kingfishers,
Yeah.
everything else. Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. So obviously, I've seen a few posts of yours recently. You're now involved with Tasker.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that. What's your involvement there?
Yeah, it's I'm on the team. Obviously, supply me with a lot of their excellent bits and bobs, should we say? The
Yeah.
tungsten and the fluorocarbon and every bit you need, really. They've got a lot of new products coming out in the next year or so, as they're having a relaunch, rebranding, hoping to get out across Europe and spread the Tasker name.
Yeah.
But it all seems good so far. Just see where it takes me,
Yeah.
really.
And when did you join? Was that recent?
Yeah, I've used their products for years,
Yeah.
and when they rebranded, they approached me and said, "Would I like to be in the team?" And
Yeah.
it was a no-brainer for me, really.
Yeah, brilliant. So you've certainly got a portfolio of fish to show them, haven't you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And obviously,
Yeah.
if people want to catch up with you, so what's your Instagram address? Where can they find you there?
I catch big carp.
Nice and easy. So I catch big carp. And
Keep it
Facebook.
simple.
Have you got just an angling page? Or is it
No, I
just...
haven't. I've just got my personal page on Facebook.
Cool.
I do have anglers on there. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. So Instagram's a place to find you. I
Yes.
catch big carp.
That's it.
Awesome. Right, we'll wrap up there. Anthony Jones, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.